When the VA Karen Dominion detected the lone human vessel entering their sector, they laughed. A single ship drifting into the outer perimeter of the most fortified star system in the Orion Expanse? It was an insult, or so they thought. Admiral Xal of the Dominion fleet watched the scans from the bridge of his flagship, the unyielding Talon. His spiny crests rippled in smug amusement as the holographic display showed the human ship approaching. It was huge, yes, almost comically oversized, but alone. No escorts, no fighter screens, just one dark wedge gliding silently toward a fleet that could blot out a star. Pathetic, one of his lieutenants sneered. Humans are arrogant to the end. They think their primitive war barge can intimidate us. Xal bared his fangs in a grin. Let them come. I want that ship intact for study. Board it, gut it, and hang their captain from our prow as a trophy. But the humans had named that ship the Leviathan for a reason. Captain Ilsa Hartmann stood on the Leviathan's bridge, her expression unreadable as the tactical feeds lit up with enemy signatures. Thousands of Dominion ships locking weapons, forming concentric spheres around her single vessel. Her crew worked in calm, precise unison, each station alive with quiet efficiency. No last-minute panicked orders. No desperate prayers. Just one soft command. Release the tether. Deep within the Leviathan's armored belly, massive clamps disengaged. What looked like old plating unfurled and separated, revealing a spinning core. A contained singularity reactor, generations ahead of what any Dominion scientist could even dream of. Outside, Dominion pilots gawked as the Leviathan's hull shifted like a living thing. Panels moved, shields thickened, weapon ports opened. The entire ship seemed to breathe. Admiral Xal snapped his claws in annoyance. All ships, converge. Disable it now. The Dominion fighters moved first. Clouds of them streaking forward like a swarm of hornets. Plasma bolts peppered the Leviathan's armored hide, but its shields drank up the punishment. Then, with a low, pulsing hum, the Leviathan responded. One by one, hexagonal weapons arrays glowed along its flanks. Not simple plasma cannons, but gravitic lances, weapons that bent space itself. With surgical precision, the Leviathan plucked fighters from the void, tearing apart entire wings before they could get within torpedo range. The Dominion fleet hesitated. This was not how prey was supposed to behave. Xal snarled, his voice echoing through the command net. Press the attack. Overwhelm it. They threw dreadnoughts at it next, kilometer-long beasts bristling with heavy cannons. But the Leviathan danced between them, its thrusters spinning its massive bulk with an elegance that defied physics. A single blast from its forward lance gutted the Dominion's third dreadnought, spilling molten metal and vacuum-frozen bodies into the void. The humans could have sent a fleet, but they didn't. They sent a lesson. Inside the Leviathan, Captain Hartmann's voice was calm, almost bored. Dominion flagship coming into range. She tapped her console. Arm the harpoons. Harpoons? Her XO asked, half grinning despite himself. Just a name, she replied. For what comes next? When the Leviathan fired, it looked like threads of light, shimmering beams that pierced the flagship's shields and buried themselves deep in its hull. For a moment, the Dominion flagship sat paralyzed, and then the Leviathan's gravitic core flared. On Xal's bridge, the air vibrated with an eerie resonance. He barely had time to bark an order before the Dominion's pride and terror turned to confusion. The harpoons pulled, space itself twisted, and the Dominion's flagship began to tear apart at the seams. No explosions. Just metal shearing, decks collapsing inward, and an unstoppable, silent implosion. Watching from her command chair, Hartmann exhaled slowly. Message to Dominion High Command, she said. Let them know Earth doesn't send fleets when one ship is enough. Her words spread like wildfire, intercepted, replayed, impossible to suppress. Across the Dominion's conquered worlds, whispers grew. Humans didn't posture with armadas. They forged single weapons so terrifying, so over-engineered that they could stand alone against entire empires and win. When the Leviathan turned back toward Earth, the Dominion fleet didn't give chase. Those who survived drifted in shattered hulls, staring at the wreckage of their once mighty flagship, all because of one human ship. Back home, humans watched the Leviathan's triumphant return on a million screens. No chance of conquest. No calls for mercy. Just a simple reminder echoing through the stars. You wanted a war. You got a monster. And next time, they might not come alone.